Hello and welcome to this very brief introduction to the meta model, a wonderful process for helping us to dive down and reconnect with the detail of our maps of the world or someone else's. We create our map of the world by taking in the data from our experiences of the external world through our senses. Our unconscious mind then processes this through a series of filters through deletions, distortions, and generalizations to create an internal map, a very personal map of our experience. And it's this map that we refer to. There's an additional map at this level, which is a language map. The language map is a précis or an executive summary of what's going on in our whole internal representations or map of the world. And the language itself is created, the language map is created using those same deletions, distortions, and generalizations to make it a manageable tool for us. So language is only sharing with us a very limited aspect of what is existing in our map of the world. But language gives us the clues to how we've structured our map of the world. And the meta model helps us identify patterns in the language we use and then challenge some of those limiting patterns so that we can reconnect with the wealth of experiences we have in our map of the world, and therefore enhance our capabilities, expand our resources, and open up more possibilities, perspectives, and choices. So what we'll run through here is a number of examples of patterns with a presenting question and how we might explore and dive down into the detail to help someone connect with some more useful information. Nominalizations. These are process words frozen in time. An example. The problem is lack of communication. What we want to do is help someone explore the process and the specifics of the process. Unfreeze the word communication. Communication is a nominalization. So we might ask, who is not communicating with whom? Or, what is not being communicated? Mind reading. Mind reading is when someone is claiming to know what's going on in someone else's mind, what thoughts and feelings and intentions they have. She does not like me. We want to be curious about the missing info, and with rapport with someone, we can ask, how do you know that she doesn't like you? Cause and effect. This is where there's an implication that one thing causes another. Mark makes me angry. To help the speaker be more empowered, you might wonder and inquire, what does Mark do to cause you to choose to feel angry? Complex equivalence. This is where someone's implying that this means that. We want to break the equivalence down and recover choice. So in the example, she yelled at me, so she must hate me. One might ask, how does her yelling mean she hates you? Or, have you ever yelled at someone you liked? Or, what else could her yelling at you mean? Presupposition. These are linguistic assumptions, and in every sentence and utterance we make, there'll be presuppositions within them. Here's an example. If my husband knew how much I suffered, he wouldn't act that way. The presuppositions here includes that she's suffering, her husband acts in some way, and her husband does not know she suffers. So to recover choice, we might ask, How do you choose to suffer? And to challenge the mind read, how do you know he doesn't know? And then be more specific about actions. If he did know, how else might he act? Now, with all these patterns, it's not so important that you understand the titling of it. It's the essence that what we're doing is digging deeper. We're taking the surface level structure of the language and inquiring more so that we can expand and move things forward. So there's more opportunity to make choices and expand our possibilities. The next grouping is generalizations, and we start here with universal quantifiers. These are great. All of these are great. Every one of them's great. And what we're talking about here is the all, every, never, or no one. Everything is always changing around here. Now, if we wanted to help the speaker just realise that they are generalising, we can simply ask, can you think of one thing that has stayed pretty much the same over time? We're just starting to shake up that belief that they've expressed that everything's changing all the time, and start to think of other examples where that isn't the case. Everything, always. Modal operators. These are like laws that we set ourselves, or someone in their languaging when there's lots of shoulds, shouldn'ts, musts or needs. I must get all of this done before I get home. So to help the speaker open up to other possibilities, you might ask, what would happen if you didn't? You can see that perhaps someone expressing that they must do something has never considered the possibility of what would happen if they didn't. Lost performative. This is where there's a value judgment when the source is missing. People should concentrate more on getting their own jobs done rather than worrying about everyone else's. And if we wanted someone to take ownership or appreciate really where this belief came from, we might ask them, who says? And in the final group, we look at deletions, and there's many of these in practice when we talk. But in categorizing them, we talk about simple deletions, where an important element of a statement is missing. I'm uncomfortable. What are you uncomfortable about? Comparative deletion, where there's a missing standard of evaluation. He is the smarter person. Smarter than whom? An unspecified verb. My friend hurt me. How specifically did your friend hurt you? Again, we're encouraging the person to go down into some detail, and there may be prime examples or a key example that then the person may work on. Lack of referential index. This is when a specific person or thing is missing. They seem to want me to have all the answers. Who wants you to have all the answers? Now, I trust that that's given you a very brief overview of the Meta Model Patterns and encouraged you to find out more. You will find, as you become more familiar with these, that the patterns and the challenges of the questions and the explorations will be something you come to use in everyday conversations again and again. So enjoy learning more and putting your new knowledge and skills into practice.